Camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two. Okay, that's enough. You're getting it right.
Welcome to the Jersey to Vegas podcast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Pete from the Jersey to Vegas podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming out to episode number 1. I'm very excited to be doing this and sharing this journey with you guys. A lot of people are asking, like, what is this podcast about? Honestly, there's a lot of things it can be about, and I think I'm trying to figure that one out. I could sit here just like anyone else and think about doing something or think about how it's going to go. How could I make it perfect with the equipment, to the cameras, to the computer, to what type of mic, and instead it would end up being 17 years later, and then the podcast would just be called Living in Vegas. Okay, so the main thing here I want to kind of express, and hopefully you guys understand as well, is that all this stuff and learning this process of moving from New Jersey to Las Vegas is going to be life-changing. Like, I already know it's life-changing. I want you to understand what's going to happen in this episode today. So I'm going to talk about why. Why am I moving, or why are we moving to, let me fix my mic real quick. Why are we going? How are we doing this, or how are things going with this, and then what's next, okay, and the why. Why are we going to Las Vegas? Short of it all, a pandemic crushed me. It completely crushed me. There's people out there that have their own businesses. If you definitely don't know, if you don't know me, I used to have a gym here in New Jersey for about 11 years called Crank, and it got washed away. And in this process, I did everything I can. And guys, I loved this job. Like, I loved my profession. I loved everything about what it was I was doing, and in one instant, it was slowly taking me down. Now, I'm a person, and just like I'm saying in this podcast, I'm a person that's very resilient, right? I'm someone that kind of, can get knocked down and get back up, but this one was the hardest one I've ever had. If you've never watched my YouTube channel back in the day, I talk about all the things from eating disorders to depression to mental health issues to body dysmorphia. I got them down the line. I got the full deck. I got what's the word called? I got a full house with the royal people, the ones that count inside a castle, the kings, the queens. I don't think the jack does. I don't know what a jack is. It was a tough struggle, understanding more about mental health and getting it down. But I did lose everything. I lost it. I lost myself. I lost my mind. Ended up becoming very suicidal. The thoughts were there, really getting close. And to the day, I'll never forget, December 4th was the day that I was ready to kill myself. And instead I went to the hospital, and I'm really happy and grateful for that day to give me another chance of doing what it is I do best, With that end of the story, I'm in the recovery process, trying to pick myself back up to the way it used to be, or not even the way it used to be, just to become better, to be honest with you. But we knew that we couldn't live in this house anymore where I'm taping presently, where there's cardboard boxes everywhere. If you obviously can't see, but I have, cardboard boxes here because we're packing, moving, and then trying to sell the house. And as we looked in New Jersey, the property taxes are too high. The market is booming, so houses are way too expensive to deal with. I was going to go back and live with my parents, but I don't know if I was able to do that, honestly. So we took a couple trips to think about places that we want to move. And first one was Austin, Texas, and we went to Austin, Texas, and it was fantastic. It was a great city, but we liked it. You have to listen to your heart a lot, and you have to listen to the energy that hits you when you're in the process of making a decision. Well, for that one, I liked it. Okay. I didn't love it, because there's a lot of things there that are still happening over here. The market's driving way up higher. The income tax is great. The property tax is great, right? Those are the best parts about it. The homeless situation is very tough to live with. I feel bad. It's not like, I'm like, I don't, not that I don't want to be there, but at the same time, like, it's sad going to a restaurant and you're having a good time, and then you look across the street and there's a little girl riding a tricycle underneath a bridge with tents. Like, it just doesn't seem fair, But I guess, I don't know. I have nothing to tell you on that one because I cannot solve that problem except create awareness of the issue, and that's it. And number 3 is traffic. Traffic sucks over there. Traffic is tough. And for us to move out there, we both have to get jobs. And for us to get jobs and move around, my wife doesn't really drive that much, if you don't know. She don't drive that much. She maybe drove back in the day like 3 times. She's from New York City, so she doesn't drive too much, and just recently got her license, so it's pretty tough to for whatever age she is. I'm not going to tell you because that wouldn't be manly of me. Manly. Gentleman, whatever. Who gives a shit? She doesn't drive. I would have to drive everywhere for the most part, and then sitting in traffic to get to our jobs, which most likely has to be near the closer part of the city of Austin, I might as well just go to New York City fucking at 8 o'clock in the morning and trying to get through the Lincoln Tunnel, or even worse, the Holland Tunnel, because that shit sucks. Okay, it's kind of the same thing. Just to get somewhere to go to work ain't worth it to me. Quality of life, people. Quality of life. I loved it. I love the comedy scene out there. I love the weirdness of it, even though a lot of things were still closed because of the pandemic, but some things were open. It was cool. Came back home. Our second choice was Las Vegas. And in Vegas, my wife's company was relocating to Las Vegas. So they were dissolving her job here in New Jersey, which means if she didn't take it or wasn't offered something, we had no job. She had no job. I love it. I put we in there because I and me is we, I guess. But I'm not her. She's not me. But we are we. Does that make sense? And then she would have to go to Las Vegas, and we went there. We went, we loved it, we tested it out. It was really cool. It felt really nice. And we were out there apartment hunting and just went to place. Every place looks the same in Las Vegas, guys. Every apartment complex you walk into, hey, come inside here. If you're a visitor, this is your cool parking space right in the front. Oh, wait, do you want some water with a lemon in it? Of course, it's right there. And as you walk in, the person's either really nice or a bitch. Like, that's kind of the way it goes. But at the same time, prices are the same. The format is the same. The way the things are the same. Really just the amenities, the things that come around the complexes, what's in there, what type of pool, what type of gym, what type of extras do they have? What do they offer that community? And it was really cool to get to choose that. And at the same time, we're working so hard, it didn't feel like work because we were enjoying the process of going through all of this. It was really cool to go through the process of apartment hunting. I never went apartment hunting before. I've never gone apartment hunting before because mainly I've never stuck to apartment that I've ever gone into in my life. If I did get into an apartment, I usually pulled out pretty fast. Hey, yo! And then we moved on to the next thing, which is usually go back to my parents' house. So I feel like this process was becoming the same, which is why I couldn't go back to my parents' house. As much as I love them, as much as they love my kids and my family, I couldn't do it because that would just make everything go backwards again. And then we'd start. Then what are we going to do? Live in fucking Cedar Grove or some shit? No offense to Cedar Grove. No offense to Fairfield. No offense to East Hanover. But all these motherfuckers around here, that's where they migrate to. That's a town of choice. If you're fucking Italian, I guess. I don't know. Or Chinese. Nah, wrong. You don't go there. You go to West Orange. Or Millburn. Or Livingston. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about race stuff. But I'm allowed to because I am Italian and I am Asian. So it's okay for me to say so. But there's no fucking way I was going out there. So we had to change it up. And that's why we are going to Las Vegas. Loved it. Made the decision. We are living somewhere. What's the name of the town? Oh, if you're out there, give me a little bit of noise. Give me some noise if you're out there. We're going to go to Spring Valley, which is about 10 minutes from the Strip. So if you don't know the area, there's a bunch of little subsections to, everyone will just consider Las Vegas as Las Vegas, I guess, if you're not from the area. But I will soon understand. Do I count as a Benny now? Or am I a Benny? Or am I a Barney? Because down the shore, they call me a Benny and a Barney if someone like just moved there. I forget what it is. As long as I'm one of them, I'm not just a chud. I don't want to be a chud.